that's me. Alden. I'm a musician, and also I'll talk about the second line, lead, H2O for Spiderhook Inc. So, when I got the invite via messenger from Tim, I said, tama ba yung message mo? Ako? Bakit ako? TEDx? Ako? Apparently, my life looked interesting. Diba? So, they said, kasi the theme is Polaris, which is your North Star, and finding your purpose and your passion, looking inward for fulfillment and happiness. So, I know our recent speaker talked about the business side and the number side and helping a lot more people, and galing. I will be talking about my journey and my choices and standing by them and making a life out of them. So yeah. Educational background, well, yes, they said it already. I graduated from XavierSchool, batch 91. Apparently, some of you are kids of my classmates. So that's, like to say hi to Viking, who's apparently my batchmate's son. Thank you for the assistance. And then I moved on and went to UP and took sports science. Now how that came about is also by chance. Ever since I was a kid, I loved playing drums. My mom would say he'd always bang on pots and pans, he'd always beatbox. There was no definition of whether I had ADD or ADHD. None of that sort. Basta I was makulit. And then, growing up, I had to excel in school because that was a given during our generation. Our dads demanded, now you excel in school, get good grades, you get to do what you want to do. And then I had my first experience in playing for a band via the high school band. So it looked cool then. We were a group of nerds, friends who said, tara, magbanda tayo. But a friend knew how to play guitar, so that was out. One wanted to sing, so that was out. Saxophone was the in thing then, so I was like, oh, this would make me look pogi. Sax kaya ako, para cute. Diba? Yun yung motivation eh. So, until, hindi, ako na lang. Sige, ikaw na lang. And I was left with the drums. Which, didn't matter because I really loved, banging on stuff anyway. So, lo and behold, I told my mom I was in a band, and we had our first gig, Battle of the Bands. Meron pa ba nun dito? Do you have Battle of the Bands here? Yeah? Sorry, diba? Exactly like this. This is how it felt. I was on the drum set, and we had to play a song. So when we started, the curtain opened, and all I could see was white light and people cheering. Of course, our batchmates. So I had the song in my head. I played, closed my eyes, tried to feel the song. Diba? Pagbukas ko ng mata ko, nakatingin silang lahat sa akin. Kasi, yung pala, tapos na yung kanta. Dahil hindi ko sila naririnig, I was just in my own little world. Sige, let's do this. And that alone could have just, it was a disaster to say the least. That could have, put a stop right there. But I was determined to get better. And we still had a band the following year. We were seniors then, so yun nakabawi-bawi. So we did well, and then, I went to college, and then I had a taste of my first gig. Of course, I had a college band. We would join Battle of the Bands. I wish I had photos, but during our time, hindi pa uso yung So it's in an album somewhere, in my mom's place. But after that, I had my first So I had my college band had a free gig at a bar featuring a well-known artist at that time. They were called Rizal Underground. So we opened for them. So we played the gig, we had fun, met the band. I was such a huge fan of the band, okay. And then, I said goodbye, I was on a high. A few months after, I got a call. Landline pa yon, wala pang cellphone nun eh. So, they said, si Alden ba to? Sabi ko, yes, si Dante to, yung road manager ng Rizal. Pwede ka bang gumig? Pwede ka bang tumugtog sa amin? And this is the edited version of my reply. Get out of here. And then he told me, mukha ba akong nagbibiro? And he gave me the address of the studio, and I went there, did the gig. I was, kumbaga, Ben and Ben level sila nun eh. Well, hindi naman siguro, but they were the hot band then. So, it was adrenaline filled. I had a series of shows during that December. And then after the last show, I said, sige, thanks guys, galing nyo. Kasi they became my friends. And then he handed me an envelope. Okay, when I got home, I got paid. So people pala make money playing drums. Sabi ko, parang gusto ko to ah. Di ba? I was already in college. My first course was art studies. And of course, my dad, who was an engineer, would have none of the art. Studies pwede. Pero yung art, there's always that, I think parents now are medyo a little more modern. Diba? They know that there's money in art or the pursuit of whatever. There's money to be made. But during our time, I couldn't shift to music because there's just no sense for my dad. He wanted a doctor in the family. So the next best thing was sports science. Kasi pre-med siya. And during that time, I got hooked on exercising and figuring out stuff. So I took that course, graduated while playing in bands, and then I got the taste of the real world after, because I wanted to be a rock star. I'm admitting it. Ang sarap ng feeling eh. But of course, I was a hired gun. I wasn't part of the band, right? So after the gig, you get paid. None of the, wala yung, wow, ang galing, di ba? Walang ganon. So, I wanted to be a part of the band so bad that made it. So, sabi ko, okay, I'll take I didn't consider it an odd job. I'll take a fulfilling job, which is at International Center for Beginners. So I taught preschool for 3 years. After I graduated from sports science. How that came about was during summer, I would teach basketball to kids and swimming. So I taught summer swimming, and then the teacher, the headmistress said, gusto mo magturo? I'll train you and then you can be part of the faculty. So I did that for 3 years. And then I was playing in a band that had an album out under ABS, but the Sarah Geronimo and the acoustic wave hit. So the rock scene took a back seat. So I was enjoying it, and yung time na yan, bigla na lang nangyari. I was supposed to go to UC Davis kasi I had an internship for Masters in Biomechanics, because another part of my dream was to design a sneaker. So gano'n ka-diverse. So mahilig ako sa sapatos eh. So gusto ko mag-design ng Jordan, ng ganyan. But, di ba, nung my application was in process, a friend of mine called me, hey dude, you want to play for this band? They're a show band, meaning they do club gigs playing covers. And then may biyahe to. So you have a chance to play in Japan or in the Middle East. Sabi ko, sure, I'll try it out. And then I got in, and we were playing 6 nights a week, and we were making a decent amount of money. And during that time, I decided, that was 2000, I decided I'm going to go into this full time because I don't think it's fair for the kids that I'm teaching. Their teacher's half awake. So, dumating na ako doon, and then, that was me. These are the bands that I played for. So my wedding band, my acoustic, any call we get, and then some of the artists I played for, Pupil, Glock, and then Mix and Maya, and pati Bossa Nova, nandun ako. And then Juan de la Cruz, the more Lolo bands. So, and then this was an experience. They were hot then, General Luna, and I was allowed to play for them when their drummer couldn't make it. So I was the ultimate sub. And I owe a lot of my career to this woman, Miss Barbie Almaldes. I was part of her band for 7 years. Just because of my friendship with a bass player who I met during a gig. And we became best of friends, and he took me under his wing. And then it all snowballed from there. And then from there it's Kitchina Dal. And then I had a chance to play for River Maya a few years back. And it's been an amazing ride. The thing about music is why I stuck to my guns is because every time I play, I'm home. It's the high that you get from seeing people smile and bob their heads. And there have been times na out of the 100 people, one will approach me and say, Kuya, gusto ko mag-drums dahil sa'yo. Diba? I mean, there are two ways of the spectrum, whether you help a lot or you help somebody pick up the sticks and he becomes the greatest drummer. And case in point, she was a kid back then. I was her first teacher, I was her mentor, and now she belongs to Ben and Ben. See, that's my claim to fame. In fact, I was telling her, Ate, siguro pwede na ako mag-roadie sa'yo. See, but she was the one time that I had another talk was for Mint when she was in college, just to explain what I do. And if by somehow I encourage you to pick up the sticks or pick up an instrument or pick up a brush or do something, whatever it is that brings you joy, without hurting anybody or taking advantage of anybody, follow it. I have friends who are mega businessmen who play guitar and collect guitars. And one of my good friends said, "Do you think I can make a career out of music?" He goes, "You know what? You can, but you probably not survive because it is an industry. There is that risk, right?" And I took that risk. I had supportive parents. My friends who none became musicians would go to my gigs, even if they didn't understand the music. So this one, this is just an ad for my band. When we came out, 2009, and then this was Malay. These became my compares. I developed friendships over the industry. I wouldn't take it back, so just that's one thing. It's another is just because you're passionate about it doesn't mean you can't learn. You have to upgrade. I had to learn how to read notes. I had to learn. It became fascinating for me. And ngayon nasa internet na lahat eh. You can do it all just by watching, diba? But get yourself a mentor. He was one of the best drummers. He left for the States already, but I was privileged enough to watch him, to develop. Hey, he told me to develop this, that. There was somebody who nitpicked me, and I became half decent. You know what I mean? And not all gigs will work for you. There will always, have I been rejected? Hell yeah. Diba? Diba? Merong gig na pagkatapos nun, ay nako. Diba? Oh, we'll call you. Oh, sure. I know what that means. Right? Or meron yung disaster yung show. But it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the journey. Just me demoing and then recording. It's also another face of the industry that I love, and producing. You guys can do that now. Di ba dati kasi, you have an expert here, you have an expert here. Ngayon, because of the information age, you can actually learn how to record yourself. And with that small box, you don't need that big studio to record. You need a small box, and it's going to sound awesome. And then yes, sometimes life, puts you through many cables, and you trip and you fall, but you get up anyway. I guess my message for you guys today is just part of my journey. This cartel is what led me to my current job, because I was bandmates with his son, with my boss's son, and it led me to Spiderhook, where this is what I do. I run this department. It's called Spiderhook H2O. It stands for Health, Happiness, and Oneness. I am in charge of making sure the community, the Spiderhook community, is happy, healthy, and we have one vision. And my boss saw that in me, and I reconnected with him because of music. I got that connection. He became my drum buddy, and then he told me, you know what, I hire you. And this was during the pandemic when everything shut down. The whole industry was done. Mentally it was a struggle. Financially it was a struggle. So, but just tiwala lang ika nga nila. So, nakatawid. And this is my takeaway for you guys. If it resonates with you, great. Just be true to yourself. Be grateful. Always be grateful, because it'll change the mindset. From a problem, it becomes a blessing and a lesson. And be present. Enjoy the now. Don't worry about the future. Stop worrying about yesterday. Learn from yesterday, and just enjoy the now.